Let's call this meeting to order. One thing on the agenda is the review of assessment options, Brookwood Drive extension.
And I'll take that. On the large handout, that's the original preliminary assessment figures. And on there are highlighted assessable lots, like if you had one lot, 1.5 lot, 1 1/3 lot, or 1 1/4 lot, or 2 lots. The reason there are odd numbered lots like that is some people combine lots. There are some CSMs that combine 4 into 3, or 5 into 4, that kind of stuff. So anyways, the assessment is based on the original number of lots, which was 56. So the original single lot assessment for everything, including the engineering, the preliminary topo, and all the peripherals that go with the design of the project, both had assessment figure to $1,534.89. Now the board had asked that we look at ways to reduce that. I wouldn't say promise, but we kind of promise these people that we try to get it as low as possible. So the board had asked me to look at some other options. If you notice on the ones that are highlighted in yellow, if we take and use that water extension fund to basically pay for all the engineering invoices and the like that come in between now and when the project starts, and just take the bid amount that NCC submitted to the village of $245,000. If you just take that base bid amount and apply that towards the assessment, then that figure that's just to the right of the yellow would be their new assessment number. Before we get into the memo, which explains all that, I just wanted you to know that that number, like for a single lot, it went from $1,534.89 down to $1,212.60. That would be as low as I could go physically, FISCALLY, with the money we have. So that's the best that we could do, assuming that the board authorizes me to pay, to use basically all the water extension fund. So they would realize the $322.72 savings on a single lot. The guys with 2 lots would realize the $645 savings over the original assessment, and so on and so forth. Anyway, that I feel is the best we can do as a village. Get it down to roughly $1,200 a lot.
So this assessment would be stretched over 3 years?
That hasn't been decided yet, but probably.
All right.
2 or 3 at that, but at the $1,200 range, I wouldn't take it out too long.
No, 3 years to me would be palatable.
Yeah.
For those families, that would have 2 or 3 or 4 children up there, might be a little bit more palatable. But I agree.
I think so.
I wouldn't go longer than 3.
If you turn to the memo I handed out, I try to explain some of the vouchers we've paid and some of the expecting expenses we can face in the future. Now, to be fair to all the parties over there, if we're gonna give I don't want to say give a break, but if we're gonna reduce the cost down for the assessment on 54 lots, we have to reduce it down for the assessment on Parker. You can't just pick and choose. So Parker will realize the savings of approximately $14,729 on his assessment as well. So you have to apply it across the board. So, with that, by reducing Parker's assessment by $14,729 and another $18,000 reduction on those 56 lots, when you add that to some inspection services that are going to be done next summer, some loop reimbursement costs that we got to pay Commonwealth, the remaining engineering design bid, construction management fees, I'm expecting all the preliminary fees before we start paying the contractor to be about $79,000. All that includes the assessment reduction. So if we want to get it down to $245,049, we have to come up with that $79,000. Right now, our water assessment fund has a balance of $67,899. That leaves us about 12 grand short. I had originally intended to pay all the loop reimbursement costs the Commonwealth out of that fund. So I think at this time, in order to keep the assessment based on the project bid, I can use what they call system improvement fund money, which is utility money, checkbook money, to cover that other 8 to 12, or wherever it comes in. I'm comfortable with that, and I think you should be as well. So, again, we don't have any action in the next board meeting on this, but when these invoices come in, we're gonna pay them out of the water extension fund, basically. So, anyways, that's where we're at. If we want to get it down, we have to if we want to get the assessment down, we have to utilize that water extension fund. It's taxpayer money, it belongs to the village, not the utility, so you'll be using that to help reduce assessments over there. I'm not sure how much more we can do. $1,200 is better than the $3,000 that we had talked about back when Diana was here.
Well, actually, it was like 3,500, wasn't it?
Yeah. might have been.
Something.
Do you have any other projects, like in the near future, that would have to be delayed to use this?
No, this won't have any bearing on the utility. The utility, due to our higher rates, the utility has what we call debt coverage built into our rates, and that money we make off of debt coverage, we put that back into what we call the system improvement fund, where I spend a certain amount each year on replacing water in the sewer main. So we're fine there. Yeah, the utility's okay. Again, the majority of this money is village money, so water sewer extension fund belongs to everybody, but I think in this case, it's such an unusual assessment, something you typically don't see because of the nature of it, that I think we should try every avenue we can to reduce it. So, is there a general consensus on this board to utilize the water extension fund in this manner?
I just had a question. So when the Grandview project comes up, are we going to be in the same situation where we're going to be asking for, or residents will be assisted in some way in reduction?
Well, they will face an assessment over there.
Right.
But that's your typical assessment with frontage, or based on, not frontage, but it's based on usage over there. Any property that's adjacent to Grandview will be assessed, but we're only looking at 20% of the project. So the assessment over there is going to total about $120,000, but this is a $600,000 project. So we got a grant for $174,000.
But I mean, she means, once one.
Well, they're getting some, I mean, it could certainly be worse,
Well, no, once they see that, because a bunch of people came to the board and now the board is saying, okay, we'll help you pay for it.
Well, the reason, this is apples and oranges. I know what you're coming from, but this is, the Parker agreement goes back to the 90s.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to try and explain that.
Yeah, I just think, I'm just worried about a precedent in
In this case, I don't think it is precedent.
No.
No.
I understand.
It's two different things.
I understand because of the
I was
background.
going to say, you are setting a precedent, but only on a situation similar to this where a subdivision
Hopefully, we never
is
enter
put off on
Right.
an agreement such
a
as this.
road.
Keep in mind that 17 years ago, this should have been completed, and it wasn't.
I understand that after, coming on the board and learning all that, but like Dawn said, I'm concerned that, the general public will, citizens, village residents are gonna say, well, you helped them more. So I'm just asking the question for that purpose.
So some of this for Grandview is going to be done through the TID also, right?
Well, like I said, that Grandview, they're being assessed at 20%. They're still being assessed at Parker Heights at 29.5. So they're already getting a better deal than Parker's are to begin with. We're helping the residents over there because it was such a, I wouldn't say lopsided, that's not fair, but it was such a unique agreement that it really fell much on the backs of those citizens over there. Whereas only just a portion of this
So,
And this is written into the ordinance, there's nothing unusual about this assessment over here. It's like any other sidewalk or road assessment.
So we don't have any other subdivisions out there that are incomplete, that we have a developer agreement where this is gonna come up? I think of like
No.
Horton Hills, I think of, because there are some, I don't wanna say dead ends up there, but kinda. I mean,
They are dead ends, but the way they were designed and laid out, that if nothing happens in the future with that land beyond it, there's really nothing those residents are liable for. This was a street that was designed and approved as part of a plot.
Yeah,
So,
just wanna make sure we don't have any other
And the plot was set up that
surprises coming.
everything was divided between everybody on there.
yeah, again, very unique.
We're up in where you're talking about, that wasn't set up that way.
Okay.
so if Grandview residents come before us and they're assessed at 20%, we could make the point of argument that the other people were assessed at 29, so by adding these funds, the reduction would bring them down to about that 20%. Or close to.
Actually, they're paying 29% of the base bid. So, but you're right, if you go to the 300.
Right.
And you take it down, it's probably closer to 20.
Yeah.
But I.
So that point of argument, when you talk about, are they gonna come before us and ask for help? Well, you're already getting 20% instead of 29.
Yeah.
And it's the
So,
same thing that I paid on Mill Street when I was assessed,
Yeah.
or any other street that's done in this village.
so by using these funds
Right.
and bringing
So-
that number down brings
Yeah.
Parker Heights closer to the 20%.
Yes, we're treating everyone the
Right,
same.
so basically, you're right.
So that's what we say to them, we're treating
So I would keep that in
them
mind.
the same as
If they-
rate.
So, yeah, just so it.
Just so we can explain it to them.
Yes.
You will. And if,
Yeah, they're probably at 23, 24
Yeah,
by the time it's all said and done.
right.
That was a good point though, Pat.
Thank you. I just was kind of anticipating that, so I wanted to.
Again, this is such an unusual situation, I hope to never see it again.
Oh, yeah,
So do I.
it was a long road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun.
That's one situation that shouldn't have been set up in the first
Yeah,
place. that way.
well, 17 years ago, we've been dealing with this for 17 years.
Like I said, the bigger or the more lots they have over there, the people with the double lot, they're experiencing a significant reduction, $645
Yeah.
for one guy. One of the residents that has one of the quarter lots, they're seeing a reduction of $403. So, it's significant. I think, you guys have, did your due diligence in trying to lower it. I don't know how much lower we can get it. I don't think we can get it any lower,
No.
not feasibly.
I know one or two of the residents came to me and they thought, well, maybe it'll be around 900. I said, I don't think so. But to go from 3,500 down to 12, that's doable.
Like I said, there's some projections out there, as far as the final engineering, the final loop reimbursement costs, which won't really affect these people. Not if you agree to toe the line at 245. I know we haven't voted on it yet. It'll have to come back as far as the assessment, but we should probably do that sooner than later in case the board changes in April.
well, but
And the final one has a good chance of being even lower, because
It could.
if the contingency isn't used, that would lower it.
when we vote though, are we voting on a specific dollar amount? So
No,
like,
I wouldn't do that.
No.
I would vote to
To use
make
the
the
funds.
assessment applicable only to construction costs.
okay,
By construction costs, I mean,
and then we're voting on the
CC.
duration,
And
and we
only-
can spread that.
Yeah, and only to be using those funds
yeah,
that you've outlined,
yeah.
instead of having to try.
The system improvement fund is a reserve fund, it's basically the utility checking account, so I'll have to get approval to use that as well, just like I do any water and sewer project. So I think at the next board meeting, can we make an agenda item?
So what do you want?
Cap the assessment, we can, I don't know how we'd state that, parameters for the assessment or
Do
something.
you want us just to make a recommendation at this committee meeting then?
Yeah, make a recommendation now, but we don't have it on the agenda, so we'll get it next time.
All right, so you're talking about 3 parts then?
Actually, just one for now. To ease the concerns of the residents over there, if we base the assessment only on construction cost, base the assessment on construction cost only, that means, you know, digging in the ground, the
Right,
pipe, and
right.
that stuff, so no engineering, just construction.
Okay.
So put that on the agenda for our next.
What he said, Jane.
You're making that a motion as a recommendation for the meeting on the 15th?
Right.
Yeah.
And not to deal
We'll probably
with,
find a better way to word it between now and then.
okay. And not to deal with the term right now,
Yeah.
later?
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it would be, we are recommending it to the board for on the 15th. Any other discussions on this? Hearing none, we need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Also move?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Committee of the whole is adjourned.